Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and break down a definitive, structured roadmap to actually building digital wealth. Look, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by the endless noise of hustle culture, or you're just sick of thousands of people promising you overnight riches, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're cutting through all that noise. We're looking at the actual architecture of digital income, relying on proven frameworks to help you finally escape the trap of just scraping by. We'll be climbing the online wealth ladder today, hitting 5 crucial stages. The digital wealth reality, stage 1, which is the starting line, the e-commerce advantage, stage 2's inconsistency trap, and finally, the top 1%.
All right, section 1, the digital wealth reality. Basically, adapt or quit.
So picture this. The author of our source material was actually a self-made millionaire way back in 1995. He had traditional physical businesses, warehouses, retail locations. He really thought he had the whole money thing completely figured out. But then, almost overnight, the internet disrupted everything and totally changed the game. His previously successful models became utterly outdated. He had a harsh choice to make: quit or adapt. After years of trial and error, testing everything online and rebuilding from scratch, he realized an undeniable truth, and it's one we all face today. Making money online is no longer just some optional side quest. It's becoming absolutely essential for your financial survival.
But before we start climbing this ladder, we really need a reality check. You've got to forget the fake gurus, forget the flashy rented sports cars, and those empty promises of easy passive income. The real process, the one that actually builds sustainable digital wealth, requires a solid 6 to 12 months of unwavering, consistent commitment. It is definitely not as easy as people make it sound on social media, and setting that realistic expectation right here, right now, is absolutely crucial.
Moving right along to section 2, stage 1, the starting line.
This is the ground floor of the wealth ladder, and unfortunately it's where the vast majority of people are currently stuck. Stage 1 is defined by having absolutely no side hustle. It means a total reliance on a single paycheck, one single employer, and one sole income source. Now think about that for a second in the context of our crazy economy. With inflation creeping up, living expenses skyrocketing, and job security honestly weaker than it's ever been, relying on just one stream of income is actually a terrifyingly risky position to be in.
So why do so many people stay stuck in this risky stage? Well, because the online world is totally overwhelming, and beginners fall right into a massive trap: shiny object syndrome. This right here destroys more potential entrepreneurs than actual failure ever does. One week someone is hyping up dropshipping, the next week it's crypto, then Amazon FBA, day trading, or suddenly starting an AI agency. They endlessly bounce between all these different models, chasing that next big thing without ever fully committing to a single path. So they end up paralyzed.
But here is the uncomfortable truth. Most of these business models actually do work. Yeah, really. The problem usually isn't the model itself. The problem is simply that people quit way too early. Success online doesn't come from finding some magical secret cheat code. It comes from sticking with one thing long enough to actually get good at it.
Which brings us nicely to section 3, the e-commerce advantage. Arguably the best place to kick things off.
E-commerce remains a huge favorite for beginners, and for very good reasons. First off, it's highly scalable. But more importantly, it forces you to learn invaluable foundational skills. You'll learn the real fundamentals of marketing and the deep intricacies of sales psychology. These are universally powerful skills that are going to make you successful regardless of what you end up doing later in the digital economy. And what's really wild is just how much the landscape has shifted. Years ago, building an online store was a nightmare. It took weeks of tedious manual labor, expensive custom design, and incredibly slow setup times. Compare that to today, where AI completely eliminates that traditional friction. It's literally a game changer. AI tools can build your store, design the pages, write the descriptions, and automate fulfillment in a fraction of the time. This rapid launch means beginners can finally stop stressing over the tech and focus their energy entirely on what actually matters: getting eyeballs and generating sales.
All right, section 4. Let's talk about stage 2, the inconsistency trap. Less than $50 a month. Yeah. Ouch. This glaring metric represents the painful reality of stage 2. It's what we call the failing side hustle. So many people get stuck right here. They finally took action, they launched the thing, but they're making practically zero money.
And here's the brutal reality of why they're stuck. It's not because they aren't smart enough. It's because they are wildly inconsistent. They rely on intensity, working incredibly hard for 2 weeks, maybe a month, burning themselves out, and then totally ghosting when they don't become millionaires overnight. But the internet fundamentally rewards consistency. Small, simple actions repeated daily over a long period of time will absolutely crush short, random bursts of motivation every single time.
So how do you break through this frustrating, messy middle? Well, successful digital entrepreneurs diligently follow a very specific 4-step blueprint. Let's break these down.
Step 1. They stop trying to appeal to everyone. This is a golden rule of digital wealth. Specificity wins. Always. Think about it. If your content targets everybody, it connects with nobody. The best businesses know exactly who they serve, exactly what very specific problem they solve, and exactly why people should care.
For steps 2 and 3, they maintain that consistency. But they also realize that just dropping a link isn't marketing. You have to show, not just tell. Good marketing visually demonstrates the problem, the solution your product offers, the immediate benefit, and most importantly, the ultimate transformation. People need to instantly see exactly how your product makes their life better.
And finally, step 4. They build trust. Because let's face it, nobody is giving their credit card to a sketchy-looking website. Trust is literally the currency of the internet. You scale so much faster by leveraging genuine reviews, strong testimonials, user-generated content, transparent demos, and unboxing videos. If you painstakingly build that trust, you will scale right out of that messy middle.
Finally, Section 5. The top 1%. The summit of the ladder.
Very, very few people ever reach this final level. And the defining difference between the people who make it here and the people who don't comes down to one single behavior. Average people, they spend their first profits. They buy the fancy watch, they take the trip, they flex. But smart people, the top 1%, they relentlessly reinvest those profits right back into the business to scale it even harder.
And reinvesting isn't just hoarding money in a business bank account. It's totally deliberate. It means actively upgrading your tools, elevating your content quality, pumping up your ad spend, sharpening your branding, and critically, paying someone else to do the low-value tasks. When you outsource the small stuff, you free yourself up to focus entirely on massive, explosive growth.
There's a quote that just perfectly captures this entire philosophy. Money is most powerful when it's used to create more money. That bold mindset is exactly what separates the top tier of online earners from everyone else. They don't look at early income as a reward to be spent. They look at it as ammunition to capture even more territory.
So bringing it all together, the ultimate takeaway from this entire explainer is this. If you genuinely want to build real wealth online, you have got to stop searching for the perfect business model. It just doesn't exist. Pick one thing, commit to it, stick with it long enough to get genuinely good at it, and stay consistent. Most people don't fail because it's a scam. They fail because they quit before momentum even had a chance to kick in.
The opportunity out there in the digital economy is very, very real, but it takes serious discipline. Which leaves us with one final, provocative thought about your own climb up this ladder. When things get hard, and they will, are you going to quit, or will you stay consistent long enough for momentum to finally take over? The choice and the wealth that follows is entirely up to you.